I'm going to introduce our alumna speaker today. She is deeply embedded in Ready to Succeed and has been ever since she graduated from UCLA. And her experience and involvement with Ready to Succeed is, by the way, I want to tell Edward, don't worry about CAA. It's not intense. It's really chill. Risa can tell you. Our next speaker's involvement since graduation with Ready to Succeed is proof that this is not just a series of amazing programs that helps kids get through school. It's also a community that stays with them and nurtures them for the rest of their lives. This woman had a traumatic and heartbreaking childhood and adolescence. Well, she will tell you, but she's going to tell you her story. And she has overcome all of that and come through all of that to become a really powerful advocate for kids overcoming their own trauma and insecurity. And she will come and stand before you as this person with a glorious future who is truly going to make the world a better place. She will probably be able to point to many people, including people at Ready to Succeed, who have helped her over the years, but she is the one who has enriched the lives of so many people, including all of us in this room, who've been lucky enough to be part of her story. Regina Brodell.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'm going to read from my phone. My printer broke this morning, so it was very stressful. My name is Regina Brodell, and it is truly my honor to share a few words with you this morning and to celebrate the incredible milestone that each of you scholars have accomplished. I'm going to share a little bit about my journey with RTS, with the hope that you will see that the ties you have built with this community will always be here. My journey began growing up in one of the poorest counties in California, right by the border of Mexicali, Mexico. I was raised by a struggling single father raising 6 kids on his own. I entered foster care when my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer. He died when I was a teenager, and the youngest of my siblings were 4 and 6 years old. For years, my siblings and I moved from foster home to foster home, finding hope and a sense of home only in each other. When I aged out at 18, I went to UCLA for college, but found myself really lost. I honestly didn't really even know what college was. I also had these walls of shame from all that I had experienced as a kid, and I worried so much about my siblings. I honestly did not think I was going to make it through UCLA. But during my senior year in 2017, I remember thinking to myself how graduating from college felt like I was aging out of the system all over again. There was so much unknown and uncertainty, and there was no plan in place. The maybes and the what-ifs were frequent visitors in my mind during this time. And that's when I got a phone call from Lucy, the director of career success, and she said to me, "Regina, what's your story?" And I never forgot that moment. It was the first time I had been asked that, and the first time that someone created space for me to begin sorting through the scars of my childhood. What's my story? It was one of resilience, one of hope and strength, even though I couldn't see it at the time. I always say that those of us who were in the system, we are so used to being watched but not seen. In that moment, I felt seen by Lucy. That phone call turned into several more meetings and mentorship opportunities. RTS helped me secure a job at the UCLA Semel Institute after I graduated. And then during my first year post-graduation, they continued to provide support. They helped me write cover letters, secure my first community grant so that I could travel to academic conferences around the US and present research and get exposure to the clinical psychology field. They gave me feedback on my graduate school applications. Pat helped me secure my first lease for an apartment. The list goes on and on. Fast forward several years and my story continues. I'm currently a 5th-year PhD clinical psychology student at USC. And I really know that I would not have made it this far into my PhD program if it hadn't been for the continued support from RTS, especially during my first year of post-graduation. I share all of this with you because although you're graduating from college, RTS is still here, and they will continue to be here. I'm truly so excited and grateful that you will have the kind of support I had, and so much more in this next chapter of your lives. I'm going to end with a few lines from one of my favorite songs. RTS scholars, you might be a little too young to know who this is, but I think the message still shines bright. In James Taylor's song, Shed a Little Light, recalling the memory and work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we hear these lines. Recognize that there are ties between us, all men and women living on the earth, ties of hope and love, sister and brotherhood, that we are bound together in our desire to see the world become a place in which our children can grow free and strong. We are bound together by the task that stands before us and the road that lies ahead. We are bound and we are bound. These lines remind me that we are bound together by kinship and through the ties that RTS has nurtured and will continue to nurture as you each go out into the world with your college degrees. I have no doubt that each of you will continue to shed a little light in every space that you fill. Keep being a light and keep owning the parts of your story that give you strength. Congratulations, scholars.